during the section. Okay.
Okay. Should we be looking at the Q&A section on the right? Right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Is that for people asking us on during the panel, the Q&A?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, we're live apparently.
Yes.
So we are live and we are only missing Imanol, no? Isn't it?
It looks like, yeah.
Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody here. We are some representatives of the Spanish industry. And well, I would like to introduce Esteban Ruiz from Rocola Productions. Xavier Barceló from the Institute Balearics, the Studios Balearics, and Cesar Andion from Live Nation, and from Live Nation Spain. My name is Gabi Salaberry. I'm the head of marketing in Lastur, and Lastur is one of the music promoters. One of the most active music promoters in Spain. And well, I would like to start. First of all, getting your feelings and your point of view on how the situation is, and how are your prospects for the forthcoming months. So, if you want, I would like each of you to make a bit of introduction of what's your point of view, how is the situation, and what do you think? What's going to happen? Anybody knows what's going to happen, but what scenarios are you taking into consideration? Okay, so if you want, we can start with Esteban, and later we go with Xavier and Cesar.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, welcome everybody. I don't know how many people are watching, but still, just hi everyone. As I said, as Gabi said before, I work for a very little promoter here in Seville. We own a venue, Sala X, and we promote some festivals as well of small format, like tops, like 4,000 people. Our prospects for the near future are quite strange and quite uncertain. I guess that goes for everyone in the room, but we were having a very nice trajectory within the last year. We did like 400 productions in 2019, and what we had of 2020 in the venue, and we promoted some 30 festivals last year, or events more than festivals, and suddenly it all stopped. So at the moment we have the venue closed. We had to stop all productions in the outdoors events. Still, we managed to open during July, and well, it was okay, but not exactly as we expected in the venue. But yes, we could make some events open air in August, and they worked very well. But we are absolutely uncertain. We don't know. We're working on the scenario of trying to find new lines of business for the company. Fortunately enough, we had some other projects going on with the European Commission and some partners in Europe of different projects of investigation and development of new business lines in music industry. But live shows wise, we're quite shocked, like everybody else. Besides myself, I'm a working musician. I have a band and I have a record label, and we're all like, looking at the future with some very open eyes, looking for what's going to happen, but we're not very sure. So we're hopeful, we're working, but still, I guess like everybody else in the different dimensions, we're all expecting for things to happen, but we're not sure when or how are they going to happen.
Okay. You, Xavier, from an institutional point of view, how you forecast for the forthcoming months?
Well, we're trying to help as much as we can. As you mentioned, work for the government of the Balearic Islands, and we also have a showcasing festival called Vera, which is music and performing arts. and this year we had to cancel. Obviously, there is this option of the online version as we're living here, but we decided that instead of trying to do something that is kind of like half-boiled, we decided to just wait for next year. So we are kind of in the government. Just yesterday, or not, on Wednesday, culture was declared an essential good, or bien esencial. So that means that I'm hoping that there won't be any cuts in subsidies, so that we're going to be able to help at least as much as this year, because as you know, what happens is that the governments obviously have less income, so the grants could be in danger. So let's hope that the politicians have like the right mindset, and that they actually decide to invest as much as possible in culture, because that's it. Not on my point of view, it's essential, because obviously capacities are very low at the moment, if events happen at all. So at least in the Balearic Islands, we have had events going on. We have had concerts. Attendances have been pretty good, but obviously capacities are very low. So you know, the amount of money that you can get from an event is very low. So you do need the government support, I think. So I don't know. You know, I'm not a politician. I'm like a worker, so I do what I'm told. But I think that it is essential for the governments to actually invest in culture. That's my main point.
Okay, so more or less your point of view is that the Balearic government is definitely ready to try to support the cultural sector.
Yeah. I think that the Spanish government is, they just announced 100 million euros to support the cultural sector. So theoretically, the governments are ready. It's only a matter of actually doing it or not, or just
Okay. Imanol, welcome. How are you? Mike, could you turn on the mic, please, Imanol?
Hi, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly. Nice voice.
Sorry. I had a last-minute issue and I couldn't enter the chat room. You can hear me. You can see me, right?
Yes, perfectly. Now, Imanol, we just started, and the question was, what is your point of view, how the situation is, and especially what are your expectations for the coming months?
Well,
because from the point that anybody knows anything, it's like just a question of.
First thing is, let's see how things turn out now. Let's see how everything goes within the next few months. For us, it's been really important how we quickly somehow succeed to adapt our program, and what I would like to underline is that we made a big effort to change our grants program, because the grants were supposed to, the call was supposed to be out in April, and then everything changed very quickly. So we had a grant program that didn't really suit with the situation, and we somehow managed to quickly change everything. We started some conversation with the private music industry. We're really proud of it, because we really get to have this fluid and quick communication, and some mechanism to see how we could adapt the grants and somehow adapt to the new situation, and we finally did it. Of course, all changes we did during the 2020 are only for 2020. So it is now time to think how to take into consideration all the changing scenario we are managing nowadays and see how we can adapt them from the grants next year, because what we did this year don't really fit anymore to the scenario we will handle next year. I'm quite happy, or well, if I can say happy these days, but we're quite positive that we'll manage to adapt again to the interest of the private sector. I'd like to underline the importance of what we call Basque Music Platform. Basque Music Platform is a platform that gathers both public policymakers and administration and private sector, that at the same time the private sector is represented by musicians, edition industry, but also programmers and music managers. And somehow we managed to get together on this and rethink how we can move forward from now on. And I think the dialogue has been quite fluid until now, and this is what we should keep having this easygoing dialogue to keep changing things and keep adapting our grants to the new situation. This is our main challenge for the next year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I should precisely maybe that I'm representing the Etxepare Basque Institute. Etxepare Basque Institute is an institution that it was created 10 years ago to promote Basque language and culture abroad. So what we do mostly is help or try to boost the mobility of artists and creators out of our boundaries, something that is getting really difficult lately. As you know, all the frontiers and well, the mobility is forbidden in part of the world, and it's getting very difficult to move around the world. So I just wanted to say that our mission is the international promotion and mobility, and in these terms, it's going to be quite a challenging year.
Yes, absolutely. We really found a problem in last tour, trying to fit with the grants as they were released or published this year. I mean, it's like they didn't adapt to the actual context, and it has been a problem because we realized there were money on the institutions, but it was difficult to get the money because I mean the legal departments of the public institutions are really, I mean, we feel they haven't been flexible enough.
I try to explain.
They're not flexible at all, let me tell you.
Yes.
For us, it's been quite a big exercise and we did our best to be as flexible as possible. Public institutions are not flexible at all, but somehow let me just explain what we managed to do this year. In our grants, there is a number of concerts or festivals you have to present to get the grant. This year, we decided to consider that non-celebrated concerts or festivals could be also presented as part of a tour. If you could somehow explain that the not happened concert didn't happen because of the COVID. So it's been the most flexible thing we get to do it this year.
That's my point. I mean, it's because, I mean, in many grants, they were requiring like live events. And it's, I mean, we cannot do live events. It's like we are trying to do what we can, what we are allowed. And well, we have found many problems with that issue. Like, hey, well,
we try to adapt by also accepting online events as part of the promotion packet. So, trying to taking into consideration the fact that life is really hard now. But that's
yeah. And Cesar, how are you?
Hola from Madrid. Hello, everyone. Hope you're healthy and safe. I'd like to thank first Nuno and my friend Ruth for having me here, meeting you all, good friends out there on the screen. From the promoter's point of view, I'm going to try to bring some hope to the table, basically. I don't have a crystal ball, but I have a mirror ball. Fantastic Neil Young album. I recommend it. I don't know if you guys follow yesterday's amazing keynote with Rob Chalice, but he was like on the point. He was spot on the situation from the agent point of view, and I totally agree with what he said. And the hope is that we all know that this is going to pass. The problem is that we don't know when, but I'm sure that this is going to pass. The problem, and my personal point of view is that things are never going to be like the way they used to be. So, but we are an industry that during decades has been adapting to the new times and new situations. So we are adapting already. I mean, we are not in the same way that we were when everything exploded. I remember the 12th of March, I was flying to New York for a fantastic emerging talent festival called New Colossus. I'm from New York going to South by Southwest, so everything happened there. And from there, we've seen the development of like heroes of music industry trying to work on new ideas. And it's been really tough. And, you know, I like to thank and congratulate everybody who's been trying hard, all the promoters around the world with new ideas. The situation is really tough, and so many gigs in the new situation seated 1/3 of capacity. They are not financially like viable, so people have been losing money for trying. So, you know, keep on keeping on. I'm really positive, as Rob said yesterday, and I hope, and I think we all should be positive. I mean, it's the only thing that we can do at the moment: be positive and have hope. But we need to be realistic, and the situation, I mean, is hard. And we know the developing of the touring. I mean, we all been postponing tours, international tours for next year. So nothing is happening this year. We've been, from my company, we've been working on local talent. That is a really good way to go, because I think that the first thing that's going to kick off is like local talent, and we are here to talk about Spain. So we should later maybe talk about the Spanish local talent and market and the connections with Portugal. As I said, all the big tours are like for next year. Like, I mean, they must happen next year if we want to survive, basically. Are they going to happen? I think so. I mean, they will happen. I mean, I'm positive and realistic. I think the key is if we're going to reach, you know, the April, May, and summer festivals, you know, limit. I hope so. But I'm realistic, and if we do, I mean, we don't know the protocols that will be on, you know, by governments to let us, you know, do our shows open air and in clubs by then. But I think they will happen, and, you know, I really hope that they will happen, because if not, we will be all in trouble, basically. I realistically think by September and next autumn and winter, things will be more or less sorted, and capacities will be more or less the way they used to be. If we follow the new thing, or what everybody is talking about, Melvin Ben from Reading Festival, Rob Chalice yesterday said that, and I think it's the way to go. It's like the quick testing, the quick testing on arrival. So, I mean, they're still not approved, but they're this quick test, and in 10-15 minutes they can tell the fans, well, not the fans, everybody, any human, that if they are like with a COVID or
COVID free or not,
positive or negative. I mean, it's the only solution that I see personally at the moment for like trying to get back to something similar. You know, I stress on that because I don't think that anything is going to be like we used to live.
Not even in 2 or 3 years.
Well, we don't know, because I mean, maybe in 2 or 3 years there's another virus going on. So I mean, this hopefully not. But I mean, this thing has to change the whole like way that we've been working, like in a healthy way. No, talking about like health-wise. How is this going to affect the bars, the toilets, the physical contact? I mean, the main thing is to get to the point that we can have fans enjoying music similar to the way to go, like singing, dancing, having physical contact, similar to like last year.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get that? I mean, this is what we don't know. I mean, I think the first step is the protocol of the quick testing, so that everybody is in the football stadium or in BBK Festival or Decode Festival are like free of COVID.
Yes.
I mean, that's the quickest answer to the problem. Will it work? I think it will. Does it have problems? It has a lot of problems, like, you know, privacy, costings. Who's going to pay for that? What happens if someone is positive 2 days after the festival? Are they going to blame the festival when probably it's been infected in the festival? So it's all very tricky. It's all very unknown. I mean, we don't know, but I mean, as I said, we need to be positive. We need to be like realistic at the same time. And in tough times, the best ideas always come out. So, you know, I said it again, congratulations to everybody that's been trying to like keep on with the industry and doing concerts. It's really brave. I mean, there's been incredible examples like in Mallorca, Xavi with the Mallorca LAB Festival, Tomavistas.
They did a good job.
Yeah, the venues like you, Esteban, Sala X, I know so many venues are losing so much money, but they're like, you know, they're trying new ideas, like even if they are like techno venues or dance clubs, that they try new ideas. I mean, they need to survive. We need the venues. We really do need the venues. I'm really happy that the UK Venue Trust, through Mark David, is finally, after a big fight, they got a lot of like funding from the UK government. So we need to get that. I mean, we need to be united, every single piece of the music industry. I mean, the Spanish industry has always been very divided. I'm quite selfish. Maybe, I mean, let's hope that this unites us very much.
Yes.
Best we can hope for.
In fact, at least in the Balearic Islands, it was everybody was completely automized, and now there've been associations and people are sort of like working together. So there is this like musicians, like they never cared about each other. Now they do. So, you know, there's this as well.
Yeah, we did international, probably, you know, like Live Nation program, international Crew Nation, fantastic program worldwide to actually like get some funding, like private funding from the fans and the promoters for the cruise of the band. So it did well. It went really well in La Riviera, even though it was like getting people into a venue during summer in Madrid. It's bloody hot. It's not that easy. But I mean, the program has been successful, and you know, that's what I mentioned. Is like I wanted to mention all the promoters been really brave and congratulate them. But I mean, we also been trying hard with like no profit at all.
Yes, one of the things I also have. I mean, we are doing in last tour some concerts here in the north, and the longer it goes with this context, it's crazy. I mean, at least the feeling we have is crazy how they are treating. I mean, the culture and the cultural events. I mean, the kind of security measures are taken are really, I mean, crazy. I mean, it's like you go on the tube, or you go in the bus, or you enter in a bar, and more or less, I mean, it's like, I mean, you have to take care with the mask, but I mean, it's like you try to do something on the venues, and it's like the kind of measures you have to take is, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's not aligned at this moment after 7 or 8 months of pandemia. to keep these measures. I mean, you are in the theater, you are outside of the theater, everybody together. Then we get into the theater, we have to be 1 meter separated. I mean, it's like I think they are doing things even worse than they are. And it's really, really difficult with all these ideas you mentioned, Cesar, about promoters trying to put creativity on the table. And but it's really difficult to make things happen.
Expensive.
Yeah, but
yes, it doesn't make any sense from an economical point of view.
No, but I think no, I think it goes in line. It goes in line with how cultural or live music is positioned in the common mind of the country. It's like this is a moment when everybody should be worried about anything but live music. It's like, okay, we're in a pandemic and you're thinking about going to a concert. What are you thinking about? And this is on us. I mean, this is probably this hasn't been the strategics that we've been able to develop. So the whole society understands that this is not only about a couple of hours of fun at night for some guys. It's a very serious and very important industry, which has like lots of support in other countries. Like I've traveled around a bit as well, and I know that things are different in the UK, things are different in the States sometimes. But in Spain, it's like we're kind of at the end of the rope, and it's very easy to cut that end of the rope when it doesn't really cost that many votes when the election comes. And sometimes I also get the feelings like maybe not at the operative level. Like there's some policymakers that really know what they're doing in terms of live music and touring and how that the policies affect this industry. But I have the feeling that at higher levels where decisions are truly made in terms of budget and in terms of strategic policy making, I have the feelings that they don't know what they're talking about. Like they have no idea whatsoever of the industry. It's like if they had me or any of us taking really serious decisions on nuclear energy. I mean, we are musicians in the end. We are promoters. We are organizers of shows. We know how to do things in our business, but we don't know anything about nuclear energy. And I'm guessing that the people that are taking decisions on the nuclear energy side of things are experts on nuclear things. But people taking decisions of a very huge part of the lives of a lot of people have probably never been to a festival, to a concert. They don't care about music. They don't see music. They don't listen to music. They don't live music. So I think that's part of the problem. That's why, at least I spent the weekend in Salamanca on holiday, and I was completely terrified to see how some bars were packed with people, the young university people were packed, no masks, anything. And then the restaurants were full, but all the venues were closed.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, there's no, it makes no sense at all.
It doesn't, but the problem is that we've got the perception of the public that music is dangerous for some reason, or culture is dangerous for some reason. And then there was, this event with the National Theatre where, because there wasn't enough distance, and there was a complaint, and the police came and everything. So I was talking to a promoter the other day, and he said, at this point, like, we need to make people understand that culture is safe, and if that means having less people in, then we have to take it, because that's the only way. Like, there are promoters that say, yeah, let's have full capacity because the buses are full. Yeah, but people are not going to feel safe.
No, that's not the way.
That won't work.
I would like to add just a thing, and I have this impression, and I would like to share my impression with you, but I have this impression of that the cultural sector, and I'm not going to talk about the industry right now, but during the pandemic and the whole situation this year, we've been relying on the idea of the culture and music and movies and theater is entertainment, purement entertainment. We never, I don't know how to say, we never underline the idea of how important culture it is, not only in terms of thinking and critic spirit, creating this critic spirit to live such a strange experience we're living, but also like an industry, like an activity. For example, hotels, bars, and discotheques are all open because they show themselves like an industry.
Absolutely.
And I think we relate on the idea of culture is just entertainment. And this made something not an important for, I mean, it's like if society is not conscious, we lost the consciousness of how important culture is, not only in terms of entertainment, but as an industry, as a sector to create, I don't know, employment, to apport to the PIB numbers. I don't know, we would like to match on the idea of that culture is necessary because it's entertainment. And we lost a lot of things and issues and values on its way when saying such statements.
No, I totally agree. I think, I mean, I'm 41 years old and I released my first record when I was 17. And for the last 25 years, I've been dealing with the fact that when I tell anybody that I work in music, they say, but as a hobby, right? It's like, it's not the work. I say, yeah, I pay my rent and my bicycles. I'll do cycling quite heavily.
And your taxes. You pay
I pay
your
my taxes. You know, I'm a company. I'm fried paying taxes, which I happily pay because it's my job. You know, and it's hard to make people believe. Even now that I'm in my 40s and I've been doing this for 20 years, even my friends even are surprised that I'm able to do this for a living because they don't consider music a serious working career.
And don't you think that it's us, the cultural workers or creators, that insist in this speech?
I agree totally. I mean, we as an industry haven't been able to deliver the right message, I think. And I think, as Cesar said before,
we have so many experts in communication in PR, like Gabi, and to sell concerts, artists, and blah blah. And we are not able to sell us as a whole, as an industry.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think we've been
everything you've been saying. I mean, I'm 56, and I have the law degree. And when I told my parents I wanted to, you know, my life is music, work as a manager, then a promoter, then we're like, you know, it's a cultural thing. They were like, no, what? That's a pastime. That's a pastime. No, okay, you can do it, but I mean, I want you to be a lawyer. You need to be a lawyer. Blah blah. How many lawyers work in the music industry? Hundreds.
Yeah.
How many? How many architects? We need to PR that to our families, because it's not only a politician mindset. It's like, as I said, my parents didn't want me to work in the music industry, and I made a good living out of music industry until now. We'll see later after this. But it's in the country. I mean, I mean, we have a problem. There's a historical problem. We've been 40 years or even more, like, in the freezer, music-wise, as a music industry. We cannot compare us to Sweden, Holland, Belgium. That is
it's
a small country with thousands of festivals there. Obviously, the UK and the US. It's just like, oh yeah, music is a pastime. Yeah, get the guitar, play the flute at school, blah blah blah. So it's never been taken seriously. But as Emmanuel was saying, maybe it's time for us to work together and, as I said, PR ourselves. Because, like today, Kines Menarte posted today on Facebook that they had like a online meeting with the vice president of the government, with the minister of culture, blah blah blah. That's fantastic. It's hard work, and you know. Thank you, like Kim, for being behind this and uniting us. But is it only marketing from the government to, like, okay, you know, okay, they're ringing every day. I need to see these guys from the music industry. But
yes.
I hope it's not just marketing for the government. Okay, you know, we had this meeting. They already I saw this ad, like a government-funded ad, or saying about culture. We need culture, blah blah blah. But is this reflected in funding and help, real help for the venues, real help for the musicians, real help for the promoters, or it's just, as I said, cellophane? Like,
yeah,
sadly,
I think it's cellophane.
Yeah.
Yes. No. I mean, I think Cesar, we had an opportunity to bring the sector together, and I think we didn't do it properly. I mean, we are like doing some things, but we really, I mean, we don't know how to lobby. And we have to lobby as an industry. I mean, we went the other day to Barcelona, and we went by plane, and then you get into the plane, and we go all together, sitting down close to the other. Yeah. I mean, like, and why the planes? You can do it like that, and you can be 2 hours.
I'm happy to change myself in front of the culture ministry. Like,
No, something quite new happened in the Basque Country the last period of time, when not only music industry, but the music industry, theater industry, performing arts get together and created a new platform that is called Reset. So it is a new way of doing lobbying, not only professionals from music industry, but from all scenic arts that have been affected, of course, for the pandemic. And I'm not sure, you may help me. For us, I'm a public institution. For us, it's been our job has been much easier with this only interlocution, strong interlocution, and very easygoing in that sense. And when you're, especially these days where communication has been so difficult, having such a platform representing the whole performing arts and music in an only interlocutor was really efficient for us. I'm not sure if you could maybe have the point of view from the other side of the table, right? I don't know what kind of, how did you experience such thing?
Well, I mean, Es Música now, Kim is like trying to get together all the, I mean, different associations within the music industry, no? Isn't it, Cesar?
It is,
and yes, but it has been not enough. I mean, because we have, I mean, we didn't get really anything. I think we have been the last guys of the country to look at, and it keeps going like that. I mean, I realize we have a problem not only with the national government, but also with here in the Basque Country, we are having big problems with the local and regional governments. That, I mean, is like one of the things with the festivals or the big concerts. If it didn't happen, you didn't have any cost. And you have to say, no, that's not the case. I mean, I have many costs, even though I don't do the event, because this is not, okay, a bunch of hippies, hey, come here. I mean, this is an industry. And really, I mean, they don't realize how we are. So I think we have a challenge, the industry in Spain, to make our points clear. I mean, I was the other day talking with a friend in Germany. In Germany, they are really pushing with the demonstrations and with the actions they are doing. They are really being really spectacular. They go to the Reichstag and they put lights on the Reichstag. I mean, they are really being very, very active. And here, I mean, we did a kind of demonstration on the 17th of September with the red. And we haven't done anything. I think we have to be, I mean, we have to put on the table.
Maybe we need a big truck with the speakers in front of the Congress.
Yeah, yes, I think, I mean, you know how this country works. I mean, unless you really make noise and become a problem, I mean, nobody hurts you. And I think here we are very, very complacientes with the situation. I mean,
and besides, I think that in line with what I said before, that we are kind of the last guys in the rope hanging down. There's also a very, very weird moment of division in society that is so binary. It's like so divided in one thing or the other, and no matter what what definition you want to give to one thing or the other. We're so binary at the moment. We've always been, but we're so binary, so very, very much binary at the moment, that there's no really space for reflection or to go through thinking what's really at stake at the moment in all terms of industries, because it's not only us. I mean, of course, we are, I think, and I agree with Gabi, that we are the last guys hanging down, because I get the feeling that nobody's really looking at us and saying, hey, these guys are really an industry. There's so many people. Yeah, absolutely. We're kind of the bad guys. You know, he says, well, these guys, you know.
We always see it at the end.
Yeah. And I think that it's a very weird moment in society and history in the country where we're utterly and absolutely divided. It's super complicated to convey any message because nobody's really thinking about anything but division. No matter if you are anti-mask or pro-mask, if you're anti-government or pro-government, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's so binary. The discussion has such few space for grace that the productive conversation is almost impossible. In my perspective at the moment, I think it's complicated, but I agree too that probably it's about making more noise or better noise. I don't know how, but
but you have to be covered. Like on the 17th of September, you know, the coverage of the media was very low, for example. Like you can make a lot of noise, but if you're not heard, then doesn't.
Yeah, that's about PRing ourselves.
Yeah. PRing ourselves, and also, I mean, how many journalists write about music? I mean, they need the support now. I remember I posted this on my social site. Guys, we've been giving you like press passes for thousands of years. Now, you know, you guys, we need your help.
Yeah. Absolutely.
One thing that I'd like to return to is the size of the industry, because we're talking about the Spanish industry, but the size of the Spanish industry in terms of festivals, you know, it's not low at all. Like we've got a lot of festivals, and that is important to stress because we've been discussing that we're not, you know, listened to, and that the government doesn't care about us, but if you look at, for example, I was shocked when during the pandemic I was sort of like researching on the size of the industry in the Balearic Islands, which is something that no one knows about, and then I found out that the contracts for musicians were the second biggest number in the whole of Balearic Islands.
Gabi.
That is obviously because another point is that the contracts for musicians last for a day or less, so that there is lots of you know, up coming and going with the contracts, so they're not stable. So you know, the number of contracts are very high, but still, like the revenue of the music industry is very high, and we should like from the government point of view, it's obvious that it should be supported.
It's 1.3. King said today, so it's fucking good.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. It's really good.
Yeah.
Gabi, sorry. We've been talking about ourselves. What do you think if we talk about how good or bad neighbors we are from Portugal?
Yeah.
Well, we got an office. Last tour got an office in Lisboa, and I mean, I think the Portuguese market was much more developed in terms of live music and festivals than the Spanish ones. The Spanish one, and I mean, we have a learning from them. I think now we really, I mean, at least until last year, I got the feeling that we catch up with them. I mean. Because before they were really advanced on us, and I mean, I think we have to try to work more together, no, with the Portuguese market, and I think there, I mean, at least the feeling we have is that we really get along very well, no, the Portuguese and the Spanish guys, and this comes to the point of getting together, no, I mean, we have to learn to work better together. I mean, you mentioned a word before, Cesar, is selfish. I mean, the music industry was selfish by nature. I mean, everybody goes to their own thing, and this situation is showing that that's not the way. And that, I mean, we have to come together as an industry, and we have to come together with the Portuguese market. I mean, because we are in the same in the same part.
As a Spaniard, I'm quite embarrassed to say that we know little about our like great neighbors of Portugal, and I think in general, and especially in the music industry, they are like, you know, we need to learn a lot about Portugal.
Yes.
You know? I mean,
they lobby much better.
I've always been so impressed with the quality of radio stations that they have there. The knowledge of like really good music, the TV, the media, the festivals, you know. And you know, I said again, I'm quite embarrassed. I mean, we always had this attitude of big brother. I mean, Portugal, yeah, great place to go and go surfing. But what about the culture and the way they do things? Their own industry is fantastic. So you know, we need to like be more together, learn from them, and work together. As you said, I mentioned before that the first kick of the ball is going to be like local talent, local touring, like across Spain, Iberia. My idea of a confederation of Iberian countries. And how many Spanish radio stations play Portuguese music? Unless it's like folk fado. And I'm sure there's great dance music, indie, rock and roll, everything. And vice versa. Probably they know more about the Spanish bands than we know about them. So it's a time to get together and, you know, not only touring, because finally all the international tours are like, you know, Barcelona, Bilbao, sometimes Madrid, and from Madrid they go to Lisbon and Portugal. Okay, so it's in the international routing, but we need to do that with the local national routing as well.
Yeah, we try. I mean, we're trying that.
Work together with Portuguese managers and bookers, and you know, instead of having the Spanish tour, Iberian tour, you know, it's like
absolutely.
We've been doing so. Like within the last 4 years, we've been establishing lots of ties with some very small but amazing Portuguese agencies like Balletcito, Yes, and we have regular touring shifts of Portuguese bands in our venue. And I have to say that the level is considerably higher than the same talk about these level Spanish bands. You know, it's like you feel like the cultural importance of music in their careers have been higher than it is in Spain, and they work harder than most of the Spanish bands of the same level, I'd say. And I'm happy to say that we are absolutely willing to keep on booking bands, and I invite every Portuguese friend who wants to play in Seville to give us a call, because when we're able to open again, we do that often, and we book bands. Like we hire bands to play on a regular basis. I mean, 85% of the bands that we have on our venue are paid for by us.
Yeah, so showcasing festival, we had an exchange with the Portuguese Circuit Autonalidades, so that we had a band from Portugal, and I've been sort of like going to Portugal quite often to see how we can sort of like establish the link. Obviously, I work from my region, but our market is, or our showcasing festival is open to the whole Spain. So we're trying to work on it. And I think that probably one thing that is perception, but it's really true, is that the Spanish market has two main centers, Madrid and Barcelona, right? So working from a peripheral area such as the Balearic Islands is a problem of perception, because like the Portuguese, obviously they would be interested in going to a showcasing festival in Madrid or a showcasing festival in Barcelona, not so much in the Balearic Islands. So I think that we've got some issues ourselves, like issues of centrality and periphery, and that Portugal is sort of like in the same way as we are, in a way, because Portugal is perceived as periphery, such as Balearic Islands, but also another country. So it is like, far away, very, very far away. And like from the Portugal point of view, I think that the periphery in Spain is not interesting. So maybe we could change that, and we could think of periphery also as important.
We all need to work on that. Not only the export agencies or the local governments, but the promoters like us promote more like Portuguese acts and do exchange, because I mean the exchanging thing, especially with teaching talent, is the way it works. So we need to do that. Like the media has to get more involved in promoting like Portuguese acts as well. Why they talk about a band from, I don't know. I think in Spain people know more about Icelandic music than Portuguese music.
Probably.
The Icelandic music is amazing, There's so few. But...
And I love Icelandic music, and I have really good friends in Iceland, and Björk, and and Sigur Rós, and blah blah blah. But hello, Portugal.
Yeah. We have to learn a lot about them, and one of the things they have lobbied much better with their government that we have done.
Exactly. And as I said, I think Portugal is so advanced in the music industry that I mean, I've been to a few festivals there. I mean, they are like so professional and everything. Not only the promoters, the media. As I said, I wish we had so many really good radio stations like they have in Portugal.
Yes. I have one point here, Cesar, that in Spain, I think you were talking about the journalists, that they haven't been very active. To be honest, I think...
They have, but they should be more active, basically.
They should be more active.
More than active, more activist.
More activist, that's the point. And I think also the artists themselves.
Yeah, well,
because they really have what?
Artists. They are artists.
Yes, but they are also very. I mean, I think. I mean, it's like. I mean, it's only with the industry. I mean, the promoters, the programmers, the workers that we are complaining. But it's like, to be honest, I don't listen anything from the artist doing something like.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I was manager of a massive band, I would force them to do it.
Yes. You will force to do or not to do it?
Not to do it.
To do it.
To do it. Yeah, yes.
I mean, that's when the manager has to say, "Hey, mate, you're not gonna eat next week. I mean, you have like maybe 500,000 euros in your account, but the way you live, that's gonna run out in a few months."
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally. I'm seriously. They need to get more involved. Obviously, this is like a popular face and a popular voice makes
Absolutely.
more than it's the voice of the industry. It's the face.
And I think that they should really use the reach they have, because my band is pretty unknown. I mean, we've been releasing records and touring worldwide for many years now, but nobody knows us. So we can complain, but we don't have the power that all the bands have. And I'm absolutely missing some of the bands that are actually working on and off their reach and their popularity, now being more activist and active in complaining about the situation, because it's true that sometimes the message doesn't really get through if it's not with a familiar face.
Totally. I mean, that's what I mentioned before about the view that the young people, and I mean, it's so sad to say young people that they see like our industry just like a entertainment, as you said before, Esteban. I mean, if a big band, I'm not gonna say any name, they reach so many, like thousands and thousands of young people, fans on their social. So just one post. I mean, I know many that are doing it, and congratulations and thank you very much, obviously. But they can change the minds of the fans, saying, look, this is not just 2 hours of you having fun. This is a whole industry behind me. I'm the singer, but I have a manager, I have a booker, I have like a guitar tech, I have, my driver, the industry behind the face. So
Yeah,
that's the message that they should, like, as I said, be more activists to, so the people, so the fans, because the fans just go to the shows and they don't know what's behind stages, or how difficult and sometimes really expensive is behind like a production. You know what I mean? So who's got the power and the microphone to say this and let them know?
I'm definitely missing some responsibility and like full awareness of what's at stake. Sometimes I feel like big acts at the moment, most of them, I'm not mentioning any names, of course, but I'm more worried about getting likes on content and things that goes with the flow at the moment. But I'm not really aware of how important it is for them to deliver certain messages now. And not only because of the crisis, but because they are responsible of creating a grid of fans that are able to keep on consuming culture and music. And sometimes that, in my opinion, is missing.
Yes. Okay. Do we have now time for Q&A? There is, some questions.
There is one on that we sort of answered.
Yes.
Sort of half answered. But
yeah, I could go. The question I think here, like Josune is asking about how to connect local scene to the circuits and how local talent is going to be important. I think that it links very much with what I just said. We are in a moment in the industry that, at least from my perspective, of a very small independent artist and part of the industry in a bit higher level in the other side, that it's more about the reach than about the talent. It's more about how much are you able to get from your social networks and from the music you really make. And I think that has to change. I think we have to look back to the real talent and try to forget about a bit of the numbers in social media, because I'm super aware that it's important. It's part of the thing, and it's all connected. But I think that one of the keys of this new opportunity, and of course with every crisis, there's always light and hope, as Cesar said. And I think one of the lights is we have now the chance to realize that when everything stops, like when it's not about how many tickets you sold last tour on your venues, or how much engagement you get in your social media. It's about the music you're making. I think it's a bit of a moment to reflect on how, in the end and in the base of everything, is the music that we create and the content that we are creating, rather than on how are we going to deliver that to the audience. I think that's a missing link that was going bigger and bigger as of late. And about clues to connect to the local circuits. We in the venue, we're always open, and we book many unknown bands that we know they're not going to sell tickets, and we pay them a fee and a hotel and dinner because we believe in them. We believe that they're going to come back and sell more tickets. And when they've come back 4 times to the venue, they're going to be profitable. I just would like that there are more promoters with this spirit.
I think that one very important point at this moment is collaboration. Like we've seen the idea that if we are together, we are bigger. This works in all levels. Like it works on the artistic level. You can collaborate with artists from another country so that they are aware that you exist. Mm-hmm. So then once you get the awareness that you exist and people start liking you, then you're likely to have a presence in that market. And also from the point of view of the promoters, it's obvious that we could sort of like try on the exchange that we mentioned before. So to me, this moment is a moment when we have to look beyond ourselves and to try to establish links that could be very small, like an artistic collaboration, or even something like there's an amazing program that is working worldwide now, which is that people get together from different countries, and they share their audience in social media. Like, you present an artist from another country, so your fans know about this artist from another country, and their fans know you. So that's a very simple way of working together, but it's a way to widen your fan base, and it's a way to get booked eventually. So there are very, very many ways that could be inventive, that could be like productive, and I think that could be done at the moment without contact or even without playing live.
Yeah.
I like to in the chat, Andrew Albright is saying that we seem to want to rely on the government to keep our culture supported. Well, I like to point out that some parts of the industry needs like to be supported by the government, especially the venues, because I mean they're not making any dollars or any euros, and if they don't survive, they don't get any support, they're gonna end up
closing.
Nobody's gonna have a place to play. They're gonna be like Starbucks or apartments, and it's happening. I mean, I've seen great venues like disappearing already from March. And why? Because I mean, they don't own the venue, and obviously the landlords, they want the fucking rent every month. Excuse my French again. Sorry. I mean, obviously, if they don't have any revenue, they still have to pay the rent, and if they don't have any support from public money, they will have to close, or the landlord sell the space to build luxury apartments or Starbucks or whatever. So obviously they need support. I mean, artists, we all need support from the government, but we don't rely on the government funding to survive. As I said before, there is hope, and we all know that this is gonna pass, and we all will survive. The problem is that some people are gonna not survive on the way.
Yeah, and there is another idea that we are the only ones needing support from the government, when it's actually everyone getting support from the government and public loans and public monies. So, yeah.
Well, I'm afraid this is me, the only one who's representing governmental institutions.
No, me as well.
Okay, yeah, it's true. Sorry. No, but yes, of course, I'd like to, resume the whole thing, or what I think about this is that cooperation and lobby is very important, and I think the musical sector, private sector, should come together and lobby in a stronger way. And I think it's not that much doing noise, but doing good noise to be understood and to be heard. But I'd like to boost, or I don't know, enhance the idea of the cooperation should also be public-private. Otherwise, public institutions will do policies. Public institutions will regulate the concert halls, the forums, the audiences, the taxes, and so we should. It's good to do lobby by yourself. Let me just get out of the music industry, but at the same time, let me introduce myself in the music system of a region. In my case, I think it's vital that cooperation between public institutions and private sector comes to a very strict mechanism to improve the situation and working. It always happened this way, but now more than ever, we should consider combining short terms and long terms. Short terms is just to survive, but it would be a pity to forget and lose all the things we've been working on within the last decades, and we should at least keep a little leg on all these spaces to not to lose, as we say on TV, quota de pantalla, like to having, exactly. So it is more important than ever combining two terms, long-term and short-term, because the situation is that extreme that it may make us forget about long-term objectives. That's what I wanted to say and to add.
No, I think it's a good point, Manuel. But I would like to add on that the problem is that maybe there is no long term for many industry, because the short term is so tight. I mean, answering to Andrew Halbright, the question of the relying on the culture supported by government, I think we have a problem. I mean, I make myself all the time the same question: why I can go in the plane with everybody together, and I can go to a theater or to a concert with everybody together? Why? I mean, that's because we're not asking for money as a promoters. We're asking for spaces for
same protocols.
The same protocols, absolutely. So it's please, why you have condemned and you have satanized the cultural events? I understand you can do a festival like BBK or the Code or whatever. I mean,
And
with 40,000 people.
Because of the
But I think we have
banalization
done-
of culture.
Yes, and I think it's not a problem of the private sector, but a problem of the. I mean, yes, we should lobby better, but I think the public. The governments should be like, I mean, at least to let us work in the same conditions and protocols that other industries.
You
Totally agree. I totally agree. But I think this is because of this banalization of culture we talked.
Yes, absolutely.
That make not such a strong lobby like airlines companies and huge business multi-millionaire businesses. I think this is
But the thing is, if you need to travel and you need to travel by plane, you just take it because that's what it is. But people say, well, if I don't go to a concert, that's all right. So if people don't feel safe in the concert, they just don't go. So to me, asking for the same capacities is just not realistic, because that's not how it works. Like if there are certain things that you have to take what's given.
But why, Xavier? Why you can go the same capacity in a plane? Because you don't. I mean,
obviously,
before
I don't fly because I
don't
like
why.
flying.
Yes, but I mean, why if you go by plane, you can go together, and if you go to a theater, no. I mean, who has the
better lobby, better noise?
better lobby? That's not different.
It's what we were talking before. A public administrator or politician or someone with a political power will say, public transportation is a public need, and music is not. You can live
entertainment. It's just entertainment.
No, and you can see on the screen, and you don't need to go live. You can see on the screen, and that's. I think we are gonna have.
Obviously, people need to get to work and get the metro. That is packed in Madrid and in Barcelona. I've seen pictures in Paris, like a horror movie, basically, like Black Mirror, like the trains packed like that.
Yeah.
How people are not gonna get infected? I mean, hello. And obviously, and I agree, public transport is a public need, and people need to get public transport to go to work. But people need like art to be healthy mentally and physically.
Now more than ever.
More than ever. Exactly.
Exactly. So it's not everything for like the public transport and nothing for us. As Gabi said, it's like we need the same protocols. Okay, we understand that people should not get on the metro. I'd rather get my bicycle, but I mean, people, if they travel long, I mean, unless they are like in Durain, they need to get on the metro.
Yeah. but what I was saying is that there are like public perception won't take it. That's what I'm saying. And then the government needs to act on that, not by saying, well, you can fulfill the capacity, but rather we pay for you not to fulfill the capacity.
Xavi, all the shows that I know like that have been promoted since the pandemic started in March I mean, I don't know any like cases of positive after
This is why.
Of course not, because it's absolutely safe.
It's totally safe. I mean,
Yeah. But if you raise the capacity, will it continue to be safe? That's what I'm saying. Is that now culture is safe? Yes, that's undoubted. But if we get the same capacities as the metro, will it continue to be safe? That I don't know. I don't know if the bars are safe. Let's start by that. I don't think that the bars are safe.
I don't think so either.
Yes, but the question is, we are all the time taking in being 100% safe. Maybe one day we can die of doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, the question is, yes, but Xavier, you're talking about living. I mean, our industry. I mean, tourists maybe fall by 60-70%. Music industry or live music industry fall like 95%.
I know.
I mean, it's like
that's why I was saying.
So it's like we're talking about.
There is the side of the equation that means limiting capacity, but then there's the other side of the equation that is because you are limiting capacity so much, then you need subsidies to continue working. So that's what we're lacking at the moment. Because in Germany, I think that they are actually putting a lot of money into the cultural industry because they are limiting capacities. So people can continue working with a safe environment. But
I know many cases. For example, Tomavistas. I mean, they had the check and the okay from the local authorities in Madrid to open doors, and 2 hours before opening, they said no.
Yeah, well,
some technician they want to sign, and, that cannot happen if you comply all the protocols. I mean,
completely.
It's incredible. There's a lot of loss there behind.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to talk. Do we have time, Gabi?
Yes, I mean, I haven't listened anything.
Maybe let us all day.
Is there anyone else?
Okay. Time for a Portuguese vino.
For a Portuguese vino. Okay, I mean, anything else? I mean, I think we have complained enough about.
Yeah, I think we talk too much about our own bellies in Spain and so little about our beautiful neighbors in Portugal. But
yes, no, I mean, the point I think is like we invite Portuguese. We should learn a lot about you, and really we have to pay attention to how you work. Now, I mean, let's try to be positive for the forthcoming months. I think it's going to be tough. I mean, for the next coming months, I mean, I've been positive all the time, but I think next 6 months, and that's going to make a difference. I mean, like, okay, you can be stopped for 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. I mean, if we're talking about staying, I mean, doing nothing for 1 year and a half, I think we're going to we have to be much more activist.
More
because
united.
I mean, the problem is that the industry have the risk of dying. I mean, for big companies also. I mean, it's not only small companies. But really, I mean, we cannot be 2 years without doing anything, living from the air. And hoping to get all the public subsidies. I mean, that can be a help, but they cannot pay for everything.
Yeah. As I said before, and I totally agree with you. There is hope. We all know we're gonna get out of this, hopefully sooner than what I expect or realistically expect. And learn from this for the future. So I think some protocols are here to stay, basically, like healthy protocols in public events. I mean, and we all should be happy about that. Because, I don't think the virus are going to stop like spreading in the future, sadly, because we are killing the planet. This is my environment. So I mean, this is the first massive one that have stopped the world economy, and we learn from it. I mean, we humans try to forget too quickly about bad things, and that's a good thing because we are positive beings that we keep on keeping on. But we need to learn what happened to us and how many people died and how many people lost their jobs for the future. So hopefully we'll learn the lesson.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, my friends, has been a pleasure sharing with you these moments.
No, it would have been better to be in beautiful Guimarães with you, like having a vino verde.
Absolutely.
Hoping to be there next year.
Next year.
Next year.
You hear, we're expecting to be in Guimarães next year.
Yeah. Thanks to Nuno, Marlene. Yeah.
Okay. And thank you very much to our Portuguese friends to give us the opportunity to complain and to cry a little bit. So hope we can meet with you two together soon.
Let's do more like Portuguese acts playing in Spain, please.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Will do.
And vice
okay.
versa.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.